Something in the air has been speaking to you in symbols, Leo. Not in loud announcements, but in that quiet pressure that builds behind your ribs when your soul knows a chapter is ending. It's the kind of feeling you can't explain without sounding dramatic, so you swallow it and keep moving. Yet your spirit keeps tapping the glass. A song repeats at the exact moment you need courage. A stranger's words land like a secret letter. A delay saves you from a door that wasn't meant to open. You can't prove any of it, but you can feel it. The universe is getting your attention before it changes your life. And because you are Leo, you're used to being the one who carries the light. You're used to being the brave one, the steady one, the one who finds a way even when nobody claps for the effort. People think Leo is only confidence and shine. They don't always understand the private weight behind that glow, the discipline it takes to keep your heart open after being misunderstood, underestimated, or turned into someone else's inspiration while you were quietly running on fumes. You've been holding it together so long that you almost forgot how heavy it was. If this message is already touching a nerve, let's make it personal in a way that actually helps you heal. Subscribe to Leo Zodiac so you don't have to walk these shifts alone, and in the comments, leave a 2-word check-in that describes your inner weather right now. Not your "I'm fine" face, your truth. Quietly rebuilding, ready but scared, learning limits. Your 2 words are a small vow to yourself, and sometimes that's where the miracle begins. Because here's what the universe often sends right before a big breakthrough. It sends a mirror. Not always an opportunity, not always a clear sign that says, "Go here." First, it sends a mirror that shows you what you've been tolerating, the patterns you've been calling normal, the ways you've been shrinking your needs so you don't feel like a burden, the ways you've been giving royalty-level loyalty to people who only know how to receive. The universe doesn't shame you for any of it. It simply reveals it gently but unmistakably, the way sunlight reveals dust in a room you thought was clean. You might notice the message as irritation, a sudden impatience with things you used to ignore, conversations that feel heavy for no reason, a relationship that used to comfort you now feels like a room with low air, and you think, "Why am I acting like this? Why am I so sensitive lately?" Leo, sensitivity isn't weakness. It's spiritual intelligence. It's your nervous system receiving new instructions. It's your higher self pulling you out of environments that require you to dim your fire so other people don't feel exposed by your brightness. Sometimes the message arrives as endings that make no sense on paper. A plan falls apart at the last second. A job, a friendship, a routine, something you thought would last, suddenly shows cracks you can't unsee. And the ego panics, because the ego wants predictability. The ego wants to keep what's familiar, even if familiar is slowly draining you. But the soul wants expansion. The soul wants alignment. The soul wants a life that doesn't require you to negotiate your worth every day. Before a big breakthrough, the universe often sends the small grief, not the kind that destroys you, but the kind that purifies you. You grieve what could have been. You grieve the version of you who kept trying to prove their value. You grieve the time you spent performing strength while privately begging for relief. This grief is not punishment. It's cleansing. It's the old identity loosening its grip so the new one can breathe. And yes, it can feel like loss, because even what hurts can become familiar. But you weren't born to live in survival just because you learned how to do it well. Leo, you are not here to be adored at the expense of your peace. You are not here to be the strong one while your needs stay invisible. The universe is not asking you to become colder, it's asking you to become clearer. And clarity is a form of love that protects you. Clarity says, "I won't betray myself to keep the connection." Clarity says, "If I have to chase, it's not mine." Clarity says, "I can be warm without being available to disrespect." That's why the message often comes through discomfort, because you can't step into a higher timeline while dragging the same emotional baggage like a suitcase you refuse to unpack. Breakthroughs demand space. They demand honesty. They demand that you stop romanticizing people who only met you halfway and stop calling it fate when it was really just repetition. Leo, your heart is generous, and that generosity is beautiful. But when you keep giving your best to what keeps hurting you, you teach your spirit that pain is the price of love. The universe is interrupting that lesson. And in this season, the universe may be speaking through patterns you can't ignore. You keep seeing the same themes everywhere: rest, boundaries, courage, truth. You might notice repeating numbers, strange coincidences, or dreams that feel like messages instead of stories. Or you feel that odd sensation of being both exhausted and excited, like your body is tired, but your soul is standing tall. That's common right before an upgrade. It's like your spirit is changing outfits while your body is still catching up. The old energy feels too tight. The new energy feels unfamiliar. So you're in between, and in between can feel messy because you're shedding what you used to be without fully seeing what you're becoming. Here's the deeper truth. The universe sends this message before a breakthrough because you're about to become harder to manipulate. You're about to stop explaining yourself to people who only listen for loopholes. You're about to stop overgiving in the name of being a good person. You're about to realize that your generosity is sacred and not everyone has earned access to it. Your fire is not community property. Your time is not an endless donation. Your empathy is not a permission slip for someone else's chaos to live inside your life. If you can feel that shift, pause right here for a breath that reaches your belly. And if this is resonating like this video, and write one sentence in the comments that starts with, "I'm choosing," choose something real. I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing to stop settling. I'm choosing honesty over harmony. Your sentence matters because it turns the message into a decision, and decisions are how timelines change. When you name what you're choosing, you stop drifting. You start steering. Now, let's talk about the kind of breakthrough Leo often receives, because it's not always what you expected. Sometimes the breakthrough is external: a call, a contract, a move, a new beginning that feels like sunlight after a long winter. But sometimes the breakthrough is internal, and it changes your life even more. It's the moment you stop craving validation from people who cannot recognize your heart. It's the moment you stop taking someone's confusion as your assignment. It's the moment you finally believe that being loved shouldn't feel like being tested. The universe sends the message in layers. The first layer is pressure. You feel it as tension, restlessness, a quiet insistence that something has to change. You try to distract yourself, but the feeling follows you into the shower, into your dreams, into the silence between conversations. The second layer is revelation. You start noticing patterns with crystal clarity. You see who drains you. You see where you've been over-functioning. You see how often you've made excuses for the bare minimum because you didn't want to seem too much. And the third layer is choice. The universe doesn't force you, it invites you. It places the same fork in the road in front of you until you stop choosing the path that keeps you small. This is where Leo becomes unstoppable. Not when everything is easy, but when your heart becomes devoted to truth. Leo, your gift is not just confidence. Your gift is loyalty. Your gift is warmth. Your gift is the ability to make other people feel alive. But your growth right now is learning that your gifts are not owed to everyone who wants them. You can be bright and still be selective. You can be loving and still be unavailable for patterns that harm you. So the universe will test your boundaries right before it opens the door. It will send you the same kind of person in a new costume, the same temptation in a new conversation, the same old dynamic with a different face, not to punish you, but to see if you've learned the lesson. to see if you will choose yourself without needing the other person to understand, to see if you will walk away from what you've outgrown, even if part of you still wants it. Because your breakthrough isn't just about what arrives, it's about what you finally refuse. And you might feel guilt. Leo, guilt is often just the echo of an old agreement. I must be available to be loved. But that agreement is expiring. The universe is rewriting your contract with yourself. It's teaching you that you can be kind and still say no. You can be loving and still close the door. You can forgive and still keep distance. Forgiveness is not access. Healing is not re-entry. And boundaries are not walls. They're the gates that protect your peace. There is also a message about timing. Your breakthrough is not late. It's ripening. It's collecting the right pieces. It's protecting you from the version of success that would have arrived too early and cost you your soul. Some of your delays were divine. Some of your no's were shields. Some of your detours were the only way you could have become the person who can hold what's coming without self-sabotage. Think about it. If everything had worked out exactly when you wanted, you might have stayed smaller. You might have accepted love that was convenient, not true. You might have chosen comfort over purpose. And Leo, your spirit is not built for a life that fits inside someone else's expectations. You're built for a life that makes you proud when nobody's watching. The universe isn't just giving you what you want, it's shaping you into someone who can keep it. Before a breakthrough, the universe also speaks through your desires. You start wanting different things, not just bigger things, truer things. You crave depth, you crave authenticity, you crave friendships that feel like home, not performance. You crave work that honors your values, not just your talent. You crave love that respects your nervous system. And if someone tries to offer you the old version of life, it tastes bland. You can't unawaken once you've awakened. So if you've been feeling off, consider that you're not off, you're upgrading. If you've been outgrowing people, consider that you're not ungrateful, you're evolving. If you've been needing more space, more quiet, more honesty, consider that you're not complicated, you're becoming aligned. Alignment often looks like disruption to people who benefited from your silence. Leo, your breakthrough is going to ask you to receive. And for many Leos, receiving is the hard part. You know how to give, you know how to protect, you know how to make things happen. But receiving requires vulnerability. It requires trust. It requires letting the universe surprise you. It requires releasing the belief that you must carry everything alone to be worthy of it. You don't have to earn ease by suffering first. You don't have to bleed to deserve blessings. So here's a question the universe might be asking you right now. Where are you still trying to earn what you should simply allow? Where are you still proving what you already are? Where are you still negotiating for love when love should be natural? Sit with that question. Don't answer it for the world. Answer it for your soul, and let the answer guide your next boundary. And here's another message. Your breakthrough will not be built on bitterness. It will be built on discernment. There's a difference. Bitterness closes your heart. Discernment protects it. Bitterness says, I'll never trust again. Discernment says, I trust myself to choose better. Bitterness says, everyone leaves. Discernment says, I release what's not for me and I welcome what is. You're learning to trust your intuition over your fear. You're learning to listen to your body when it whispers, this isn't safe. You're learning to stop ignoring the red flags because you see the potential. Potential is not a relationship. Potential is not a plan. Potential is not a promise. The universe is guiding you to reality because reality is where your power lives. And when the breakthrough arrives, it may feel surprisingly simple, like peace, like clarity, like a door that opens without you bleeding for it, like a conversation where you don't have to fight to be understood, like money that comes from work that doesn't drain your spirit, like love that doesn't punish you for having needs. The true breakthrough feels like an exhale you didn't realize you'd been holding for years. And don't be surprised if the universe asks you to look at your pride differently. Pride has protected you, Leo. It helped you keep your head high when your heart was bruised. And it kept your dignity intact when people mistook your softness for something they could exploit. But right before a breakthrough, pride gets refined into self-respect. Pride says, I can't let them see me hurt. Self-respect says, I won't keep bleeding in private just to keep a picture intact. Self-respect lets you admit what you need without apologizing for existing. It lets you ask for help without feeling weak. It lets you rest without calling it laziness. It lets you stop performing strength and start practicing wholeness. You may also notice old memories rise like smoke from a candle that just went out. Moments you thought you were over, names you haven't said in months, scenes that replay while you're washing dishes or staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. This is not the universe trying to drag you backward. This is the universe emptying the last hidden drawers. It's giving you one final chance to release the story that says, I always have to fight for love, or I'm only safe if I'm in control, or I'm too much. A breakthrough can't fully land in hands still clenched around old pain. So the universe loosens your grip gently until you can receive with open palms. But first, the universe sends this message. Stop abandoning yourself in small ways. Stop saying yes when you mean no. Stop laughing off what hurts. Stop over-explaining your boundaries. Stop convincing people to treat you well. Stop shrinking to fit spaces that never celebrated you. The universe is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be faithful to your own heart, one honest choice at a time. If you want to make this message practical, choose one boundary this week that protects your energy. One thing you will no longer tolerate. One place you will no longer overextend. Then write it in the comments as a simple statement. This week, I won't, or this week, I will. Let it be small, but real. Breakthroughs are built from honest choices, not dramatic speeches. And when you honor one boundary, you teach the universe you're ready for more. If you're still waiting for a sign, let this be it. The discomfort you're feeling is the universe pulling you closer to your next level. The restlessness is your soul refusing to settle. The clarity is your higher self taking the wheel. The endings are not curses. They are exits. They are mercy. They are the universe making room for what you asked for, sometimes even before you had the courage to say it out loud. Remember, Leo, you are not behind. You are being prepared. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. You are not losing your shine. You are refining it so it becomes less about being seen and more about being true. And the truest version of you is powerful in a way that doesn't need approval. If you're ready to walk into that truth with support, subscribe to Leo Zodiac and tell me what part of your life is asking for your bravery right now. Love, work, family, self-worth, or purpose. And before you go, like this video as a small yes to your own breakthrough. Your next chapter is listening. Your next chapter is arriving, and you don't have to force it. You only have to meet it.